Good morning. In the previous lecture, we have started plane wave equation for electromagnetic field in free space, and we arrived at these three equations: general wave equation in terms of electrical field intensity vector E in terms of the magnetic intensity vector H. These are the plane wave equations for the electromagnetic field in free space. Now, what is meaning of a plane wave equation? A plane wave equation may be defined as that wave whose amplitude is constant at any point in the plane perpendicular to the propagation of electromagnetic energy. A plane wave is defined as that wave whose amplitude is constant at any point in a plane which is perpendicular to the direction of propagation of the electromagnetic energy. That wave equation is known as plane wave equation. Let us try to get solutions in proper form for these three equations. The solutions in proper form for these three equations are E of RT. This electric intensity vector is function of position and time, is given by E0 e to the power ik dot r minus I omega t. The magnetic field intensity vector H is again function of r and t, which is given by H0 e to the power ik dot r minus I omega t, equation number 26, and the solution for this equation is U of RT. Again, this U is function of r and t, U0 e to the power ik dot minus I omega t, equation number 27, where this E0, H0 and U0 are constants of space and time. E0, H0, U0 are constant with respect to r, also constant with respect to t, and therefore E0, H0, U0 are called as the constants with respect to space and time. And the capital K in these three equations is the wave vector in the direction of propagation of the electromagnetic energy. K is the wave vector. You may call this as the propagation vector in the direction of propagation of the electromagnetic energy. which is given by small k into n, where n is this unit normal vector. This k is wave vector, which may further be written as 2 pi by lambda into n, or this is 2 pi nu by c into n, where this formula is used. C is equal to nu lambda, and therefore 1 by lambda is equal to nu divided by c. 1 by lambda, for this 1 by lambda, nu by c is substituted here, and the equation now becomes k is equal to 2 pi nu by c into this normal unit vector n, but 2 pi nu is omega, and therefore we can further put this capital K is equal to omega divided by c into this unit normal vector, equation number 28. The propagation vector k along the direction of propagation of electromagnetic energy is given by these equations. You may write k is equal to this or this or this or this, equation number 28. Then we want to discuss the restriction del dot E is equal to 0 and del dot H is equal to 0 because of the Maxwell's equations on these solutions. Maxwell's first equation puts this restriction del dot E is equal to 0. Maxwell's second equation del dot H is equal to 0 puts this restriction. These two restrictions are the Maxwell's equations first and second in free space on the solutions E and H. To discuss this restriction, let us first get del dot E from equation 25, del dot H from equation 26, and so del dot E from 25 will be del dot E is equal to, this del is vector differential operator given by dot E. This is for the or let me write this here. Where E0 is split into three components, K split into three components, R split into three components. Dot product of these two will be I into I dot I1 kxx plus z dot j1 kyy plus k dot k1 kz z minus I omega t. So this equation may be further. This one. This is constant. Okay. This constant can be kept as it is here. Then differentiate this first with respect to x, this with respect to y, then with respect to z to get these things. E to the power, let me write this, ik dot r minus I omega t into differentiation of this with respect to x. Of these two will become 0 and it will be only x differentiated with respect to x 1, only kx will left here, ikx. If it is differentiation of this with respect to x will be 0, then this is further differentiated with respect to y to give us back I ky plus j kz this will come as it is first, then iky plus this will come as it is, then ikz. This whole can be taken common. If this whole is taken common, what left is ikx plus iky plus ikz, ikx, iky, ikz left. This taken common, it will come as it is here, E0, and this will be e to the power ik dot r minus I omega t. But what is this? This is E. And if this I is taken out, this will be K. And there will be a dot in between these two. Dot from here. So it is I, this is K, dot, this whole is E. So del dot E is equal to I into K dot E, equation number I think 29. Let me repeat it. To get del dot E, this is del, this is E. Here value of E is substituted. While substituting value of E, E0 is splitted into 3 components and K is splitted into 3 components, dot X splitted into 3 components, dot product of these two is this. This is kept as it is, and therefore next step is del dot this constant and this term. Constant taken outside, dot is put here. Okay, this is differentiated to X first to get this. Differentiation of this will be 0. Then the whole is differentiated with respect to Y to get this. Differentiation of this will be 0. Then this whole is differentiated with respect to Z to get this. Differentiation of this will be 0. This and this can be taken common from all the 3 terms, and what left? I into the bracket kx plus ky plus kz, and this constant is written as E0. So this is ikx plus iky plus ikz dot E0, and the common term e to the power ik dot r minus I omega t, but this is E, and therefore del dot E is equal to ik dot E. But according to the Maxwell's first equation in free space, del dot E is 0, and therefore this is 0. As this is 0, what we can write is as del dot E is equal to 0, I into K dot E is equal to 0, or further K dot E is equal to 0, equation number 30. So del dot E is found by actually putting value of the vector differential operator del and the electrical component E to get equation 30. The same thing will be repeated with del dot H, where H is given by H0 into e to the power ik dot r minus I omega t. And finally, using the same procedure, we will get ik dot H is equal to 0, or simply K dot H is equal to 0, equation 31. So putting the restriction del dot E is equal to 0 and del dot H is equal to 0 on the solution E and H, we respectively got K dot E is equal to 0, K dot H is equal to 0. Putting the restrictions del dot E is equal to 0 in the solution of E and putting the restriction del dot H is equal to 0 in the solution of H, respectively we got equations 30 and 31, that is K dot E is equal to 0 and K dot H is equal to 0. Now, what is meaning of K dot E is equal to 0? And what is meaning of k dot h is equal to 0? Last year I told you the formula for dot product. I dot I is equal to j dot j is equal to k dot k. I dot j is equal to j dot I is equal to then j dot k is equal to k dot j is equal to then I dot k is equal to k dot I is equal to I dot I is equal to j dot j is equal to k dot k is equal to 1. I dot j or j dot I is equal to 0. J dot k or k dot j is equal to 0. I dot k or k dot I is also 0. I dot I, the vectors parallel to each other or overlapping on each other, having angle 0 in between. Having angle 0 in between. Having angle 0 in between. And therefore, the dot product of the vectors parallel to each other or overlapping on each other is given by 1. Dot product of such vectors is equal to 1. Here I is perpendicular to j, j is also perpendicular to I, and dot product of perpendicular vectors is 0. J perpendicular to k, k perpendicular to j, and therefore dot product of these two perpendicular vectors is 0. Here I perpendicular to k, k perpendicular to I, and therefore the dot product or scalar product of these two perpendicular vectors is 0. Let us use these formulae in equations 30 and 31. And what we find? K dot E is equal to 0. K dot H is equal to 0. Corresponding to this formulae. It means that K and E are perpendicular to each other. K and H are perpendicular to each other. So from equations 30 and 31, it is obvious that the wave vector or the propagation vector k is perpendicular to the elliptical component E. The propagation vector k is also perpendicular to the magnetic component H. It means that the electrical component H and electrical component E and magnetic component H of the electromagnetic field is always perpendicular to the propagation vector. And what is propagation vector? Propagation vector is in the direction of propagation of electromagnetic energy. It means that the electrical component H and the electrical component E and magnetic component H of the electromagnetic field is always perpendicular to the direction of propagation of the electromagnetic energy. This interpretation, this conclusion can be drawn by putting the restrictions del dot T is equal to 0 and del dot H is equal to 0 on the plane wave equations. And what conclusion is drawn by putting these restrictions on the plane wave equations? That the electrical component E and magnetic component H both are perpendicular to the propagation vector k. That is, E and H both are perpendicular to the direction of propagation of the direction of propagation of the electromagnetic energy. So this conclusion can be drawn by putting the restrictions del dot E is equal to 0 and del dot H is equal to 0 on the solutions of the wave equations for the electrical component E and magnetic component H. Then we have two more restrictions according to Maxwell's equations. Maxwell's third equation and Maxwell's fourth equation in free space. And what these equations are? Curl E or del cross E is equal to minus dou B by dou T, or this is minus mu 0 dou H by dou T. Curl E or del cross E is equal to minus dou B by dou T, or this is equal to minus, from B mu 0 is taken outside the permeability. What left in the differentiation is simply H. It is further minus mu 0 into dou H by dou T for free space, the third restriction. The fourth restriction is curl H is equal to del cross H is equal to, the original expression is J plus dou D by dou T, but for free space J is 0, this D is epsilon 0 E, epsilon 0 can be taken common, and we have this equation as dou E by dou T. So third restriction and fourth restriction, curl E is equal to minus mu 0 dou H by dou T. Fourth restriction, curl H is equal to epsilon 0 dou E by dou T, are to be substituted in the solutions for the electrical component H and electrical component E and magnetic component H. By substituting these, let us see what conclusion can be drawn from the wave equations. What to do? Use the same procedure we have used to get the value of del dot E and del dot H. The difference is that instead of going for scalar or dot product, go for the cross product. If you go for the cross product, curl E will be simply equal to I into K cross E. This is equal to minus mu 0 dou H by dou T. But what is this H? You have to consider this value here, that is equal to minus mu 0 H0 is constant, e to the power I K dot R is constant, it is as it is, into differentiation of this exponent. Differentiation of first part will be 0 and of this will be minus I omega. This is for the H, this minus is taken outside, so it will be I mu 0 omega. That is, curl E is equal to I into K cross E, and RHS will be I mu 0 omega. This I get cancelled, and the equation we obtained for curl E will be K cross E is equal to mu 0 omega, this H is left here, mu 0 omega h, equation number 32. Let us do the same thing for this. So this curl h will be equal to, use the same procedure, I into k cross h is equal to, epsilon 0 is constant, E0 constant as it is, differentiation of I k dot r minus I omega t is as it is, into differentiation of this with respect to time. With respect to time, this differentiation of the first term will be 0 and of this will be minus I omega. But this is again E. So this will be minus I epsilon 0 omega into E. This I get cancelled and we simply have here k cross h is equal to minus epsilon 0 omega E, equation number 33. Substituting the restrictions, curl E is equal to minus dou B by dou T, that is minus mu 0 into dou H by dou T on the electrical component, and substituting the restriction, curl H is equal to epsilon 0 dou E by dou T on the solution for electrical component, and simplifying this way we will get k cross E is equal to mu 0 omega h and this k cross h is equal to epsilon 0 omega E. These equations can further be written in other forms. What other form we can use for these equations is k cross E is equal to, earlier we wrote equation for k as small k, this n. Final equation we got is omega by c into n. What we have here for k cross E, mu 0 omega by h. So from this equation what will be omega will be equal to k into c divided by n before that let me so we have to use this equation here. It is what, mu 0 omega h. From this we may further write h is equal to 1 divided by mu 0 omega into k cross E. Omega is kc by n, or 1 by omega will be equal to n divided by kc, and what I can put here is 1 divided by omega c, 1 by omega, so n will come here and there will be mu 0 c k cross E or if we take modulus of this, moduli will be h is equal to simply 1 divided by mu 0 C into E. So we shall talk this later on. Let us first try to understand meaning of this equation. Let us first try to understand what is meaning of this equation. Actually, meaning of this equation and this equation. After that, we shall go for these things. K cross H, K cross E. Epsilon 0 omega constant, mu 0 omega constant. Epsilon 0 omega constant, mu 0 omega constant. K cross H is equal to E. What is meaning of this? If we have two perpendicular vectors and if we take cross product of these two perpendicular vectors, what will the result? The result will be a vector perpendicular to both of these. So vector E is obtained after taking cross product of K and H. This is constant. Vector H is obtained after taking cross product of K and E. You remember this rule? I cross J is equal to K. I is perpendicular to J. Cross product of I and J is K. K is perpendicular to both I and J. It means that E and H are perpendicular to each other. At the same time, they are perpendicular to K. What is meaning of this again? H and E are perpendicular to each other and these two are also perpendicular to K. E and H individually perpendicular to the plane, to the direction of propagation of the electromagnetic wave. We already had this conclusion. From these two equations, what conclusion we further have? E and H are perpendicular to each other from this equation and from this equation. And it is also perpendicular to the direction of propagation of the electromagnetic energy. So from the third and fourth restrictions, when put on, the solutions for electrical and magnetic component of the electromagnetic field, we come to know that E and H, they are perpendicular to the direction of propagation. At the same time, E and H are perpendicular to each other. That is, E and H components of the electromagnetic field are perpendicular to each other. At the same time, they are individually perpendicular to the direction of propagation of the electromagnetic energy. More than 1/3 part of this article is left. So from equation 33 onwards, we shall continue in the next lecture all these things. Okay, hope you got it. Thank you.